my mother cleaned offices. Her second job in the evening was cleaning offices, and she would bring paperback books home and people would throw away. And I had piles of paperback books, so I read all the time. So my two passions were toys and books. So what kind of business did I go into? Eventually, I went into a toy store and a bookstore. But Danielle, the girl that's starting to make children's clothes, she had a son, and she never liked the kind of clothes that her son had. So she designed clothes for her son. And I said, those are terrific. And T-shirts and whatnot. And I encouraged her to do that. So you've got to find the thing. Another friend of mine took her grandmother's 200-year-old pound cake recipe, and now she's baking pound cakes. She's on the internet selling grandma's pound cakes. You know, so you've got to find the thing that it is that you don't mind getting up every day to do and whatnot. You know, you got to find that niche of whatever it is, you know. But that's what, and the only way you could do that is to be open to something. You know, you might have a good recipe or something. You know, it's whatever it is. The more you look and the more you spread yourself around and the more you look at what's going on out there, something might just pop up and, you know, and try stuff, and don't be afraid to fail. Try something and fail. Get a partner, you know. So I don't know what to tell you, because to me, I think that all of these things that have happened to me, it's been part of some master plan that, you know, God has just decided that this is the way I'm supposed to go. You know, I never wanted a dog. And somebody walked into the building, into this store, and left the dog and said, I'll be right back. And the dog was left. And I took the dog into our house and bathed him and fed him. And he became my dog. And he is the closest, it's like my son, you know. And I never wanted a dog, but this is what came my way, and I took advantage of it. And my slogan one time with my children: in life gives you a lemon, make lemonade. And that's basically what it is. You never know what's going to come your way. You know, just make the best of it and don't give up. And the other thing is to have a plan. A plan for somebody is not a roadmap that you have to follow. It's something that when you fall off or you get distracted, you have to go back to the plan so that you can continue on. It might take you down another path, but at least you have a direction in which you're going. You know, that's all. You can't go wander through life, because people that wander through life, when they get lost, they can't find their way back. Truly, you know.
So what motivates you? What keeps you, wanting to continue to do this?
Yeah, what was your plan?
I just like what I'm doing. I like seeing kids. I like turning kids on to books. And I like toys. I love... Toy Fair to me is like the Academy Awards, the World Series, all of these different... The Grammys, all rolled into one. And it's 4 days down at Javits. And I go all 4 days. I get a scooter. And I'm up and down the aisles looking at everything, getting catalogs, talking to people about toys. It's like, it just makes me go. I live from February to February. And I live from season to season. Because I know that there's Christmas, there's Easter, there's Valentine's Day, there's 4th of July, there's Halloween. So there are all these different reasons to have people come and celebrate. So it's really about celebrations.
So you really are an example of a celebration of life.
Yes, absolutely. And every morning that I wake up, I thank God for another day. And what's going to... And when I read the Celestine prophecies, I realized that nothing was coincidence, and that every day and anything that comes my way that I've learned something, I wonder what was the reason that I know that. So, it's a gift. Life is a gift.
And you have to make the most of it.
You have to make the most of it. Absolutely.
Yaming, do you have any more questions? Let me just take a quick look at the list there. I'm going to make sure that we capture all the important things here. So there's a question here. I'm sorry. There's a question here about mentorship. Um, I think that you do that automatically. You may not have a formal program, but
No, I don't
obviously
have
you serve as a mentor.
Yes.
Yes.
The people that work for the young people that work for me, both male and female, I feel it's my duty to help them, teach them, and move them on to where they're supposed to be. Nobody, including my grandchild, I moved her when she found that it was getting complacent in here. I said, what is it that you really want to do? And she started talking about working with kids, because she loved the kids that came in here. So I said, well, maybe that's what you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
I move them on to where they're supposed to be. They come in here briefly and they move on. It's an unofficial mentoring program, and they don't even know they're mentoring. They're being mentored, but they do.
Mm-hmm. How does business activity and you running a business, how has it helped to develop you as a person?
Oh my God, discipline. First off, the first of the month rolls around very quickly. Paying bills, being a person of your word and integrity, and carrying products I don't carry anything in this store that I would not want my children or my children's children to have. I won't carry things that I don't think are appropriate. And it's made me a better person. I have a routine. I have something to look forward to every day. I just think that having a business and being your own boss and being able the promotions and the things that you have, and some of them are success and some of them are not, it just helps you keep some balance in your life and making you feel every day that you have succeeded in small ways.
What would you say are the keys to success in business and in your personal life in general?
Consistency. You have to plan, and you have to work your plan, and you have to adjust your plan. It's just to be able to know from one day to the next what you're doing. There's people that go through life. They get up in the morning, and if they have a job, they go to the job and they come home, and that's it. Reading, they watch TV, they amuse themselves, but they don't have any kind of purpose. And I think that that's what makes the difference between a successful person and not. And success does not mean that you have to have monetary wealth. Success is that you're happy with the things that you've done and the things that you do. And it has to be outside of yourself sometimes, because just keeping yourself happy is it's very boring after a while. But to know that you've made a difference in somebody else's life, or that you have helped, my mother used to say, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And so I kind of look around and make sure that I'm not part of the problem, But the trick to that is, as a grandparent and as an elderly person, you have to make sure that people want help before you offer help. You can't jump in there with your 2 cents and think that because you're older and that you know more, that they want to do it your way. You have to kind of help them from the side. Well, what do you think it is? What do you think you could do? And I do this with the young people in the store. What do you think would sell? Well, you want to try that? I think we should try it. Well, let's try that. And then you ask them, well, did it work? So it's that kind of thing. It's like helping, but not leading. You don't necessarily have to lead. One of my problems, I lead from behind.
Okay.
I have to, kind of give them a little nudge once in a while. But if you're trying to do the right thing, and if whatever that right thing is, you've identified it, I'm with you 100%. I'll give you some money, or I'll give you some advice, with my kids and whatnot. And people also, it's, people think that I'm an easy mark. It's not that I'm an easy mark. I understand what it is. I understand when I started out doing what I had to do, people helped me. So I help other people, but I don't do it indiscriminately, but it works. I'm very satisfied with my life.
I know a lot of people, and I'm glad to hear that too. That's really inspiring for all of us. I know that a lot of families, a lot of parents, a lot of single parents are, they're challenged because they have to do it all themselves.
Yes.
So they have their children, they have their household, they have their work, they have church. And so that's a lot. And
It
so
is.
for a lot of people,
It is.
that's enough.
That's right.
So now what gives you that extra spark that with all that you had on your plate, that you still had the fire and the passion to start your own business?
I think that I started my own business because I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to be the captain of my own destiny.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I mean, I didn't mind teaching, and I loved the children, but I did not particularly like someone who did not walk in my shoes, who did not raise any children, did not know anything about children, could come down from on high and say, this is what you're supposed to be doing in your classroom. I had one of the most successful classrooms, and it was not built on the curriculum that was handed down for the second grade.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a principal who was smart enough to give me my head.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ever want to find this film, it's called The Reading Writing Connection. And the Center for the Study of Reading and the International Reading Association made a film of my classroom because it was so unusual, and it worked. And it worked because I created a community of learners, teachers and learners, and kids taught and kids learned. And so that's the whole thing. All of my life I've decided that life is here to be lived, and kids can learn, and people can do whatever they want to as long as they stay true to what it is that they want. Mm-hmm. And if parents want the best for their kids, it's not about the best clothes, the best toys. It's give the kids the time to be with you and to plan and do things together. If you give your kids time, that's the key to all of it.
Mm-hmm. I just have one last question. I think that you've touched on quite a few of these, but if there's anything in addition, what would you like to impart and offer as to young people? Some parting words to encourage young people.
Okay. First off, educate yourself, and that does not necessarily mean going to college, but learn something, a task, learn a skill, learn something that you can do that no one else can do as well as you can do. Whether it's cook, sew, dance, sing, whatever it is, find your thing, your talent, and develop your talent, and read and study and educate yourself. And once you do that, no one can sell you down the river, and no one can take advantage of you. And listen and be true to yourself.
Mm-hmm. So is there anything else that you would like to offer that we haven't touched on?
I don't know. I just, listen, as I say, every year that I have on this earth, I celebrate. I find happiness and joy in. I have a family. Then we all, and I can't tell you that we all get along and that it's one big happy thing. But all of the things, the give and takes, is that we're there for each other. Mm-hmm. And like the daughter that came in, she just got off of a plane from Washington, D.C. and knew that this was happening, and she came to make sure that I was all right. Mm-hmm. And I do that. I call my granddaughters every day to make sure they're okay. Mm-hmm. So it's just being outside of myself and knowing that a lot of people care for me, and they're not all relatives. They're friends of mine. I have very good friends because I am a good friend to people. Mm-hmm. So that's about it. Just be true to yourself and be kind to others and live your life and be happy.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. That was beautiful. Thank you.
And thank you very much.
Yes, that was extraordinary. Well, I'm just